Welcome to Gateman Pregame Live, presented by SouthCoast Health. My name is Sam Corman. I'm joined to my right by Jacob Toby and to my left by Connor Federico. The Gatemen today taking on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in the home game number 2 of this 2017 summer baseball season. The Gatemen and Harbor Hawks met on opening day back in Hyannis, a 3-0 loss for Wareham. But more losses yesterday, 2 to the Chatham Anglers out in Chatham on the east coast of Cape Cod, and they were outscored 14-4 in that doubleheader. What went wrong for them?
Well, it was the bats that really didn't get going yesterday. Obviously, you said they were outscored 14-4, 4 runs through 2 games, just not going to do it here on the Cape against some of the top pitching in the country. You take a look at the bottom of the lineup, really struggled. The bottom third of the lineup was Kyle Noth, Robbie Metz, Ben Baird. They went 0 for 11 in game 1, combined 2 strikeouts yesterday in game 2, that was, and it was not good all around. Robbie Metz, he's been really struggling past couple games. He's 2 for 15 with 2 strikeouts, 0 for his last 7. Andy Shattuck, he's really struggling, 4 for 19 on the year. He's 0 for his last 11 with 4 strikeouts as the wind blows us almost off this ledge. But then again, Andy Shattuck, he's obviously a temporary contract guy. He's still adjusting to the Cape League pitching. Robbie Metz knows how to adjust to it. We'll see if he can do that today, but it's the bottom of the third order of the lineup that's really been struggling for the Gatemen, and it showed in the 2 losses yesterday.
Absolutely. They did only score 4 runs, but they also gave up 14 runs in just 14 innings. So what went wrong with the pitching yesterday?
Well, I think when hitters get impatient, it creates a situation where you're finally looking for that fastball that comes down at the middle of the plate in a 2-0 or a 3-1 count, and that's really when those Chatham hitters took the Gatemen pitchers for a ride yesterday. Game 1 was a little better of a performance from the Gatemen overall. Willie McIver had the Gatemen's first home run of the season, a 3-run blast. I thought Brandon Lockridge, the second baseman hitting leadoff in the first game, had an outstanding day. And then in the second game, the bats really didn't come alive. It was more similar to the Gatemen's opening day loss about a week ago now to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They'll be looking to turn it around today.
Absolutely. It was the pair of Georgia Bulldogs pitchers on the mound for the Gatemen yesterday. In the first game, it was Justin Glover, who struggled quite a bit. In the second game, it was Blakely Brown, who also struggled. When we come back, we will discuss the pitching matchup in today's matchup between the Gatemen and the Harbor Hawks on the SouthCoast Health Pregame Live on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. SouthCoast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgentcare.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Pregame Show presented by SouthCoast Health. My name is Sam Corman alongside Jacob Toby and Connor Federico. Time to go over the pitching matchup for today's game between the Harbor Hawks and the Gatemen. For the Harbor Hawks, it's going to be Michael Bertel, who we did see in that first game coming to us from Central Michigan. What do you expect to see from Michael Bertel today?
Well, when he pitched against the Gatemen last Wednesday, he threw 2 scoreless innings in a relief appearance. He has plenty of summer ball experience. He pitched for the Kalamazoo Growlers of the Northwoods League last year.
The Growlers.
Yeah, and he had a good season for them in the summer. So now he's here on Cape Cod. We've already seen him. We saw him on opening day, and he had great command of his slider, working away from a righty batter, trying to clip the outside corner. He did it successfully a couple of times, got a few groundouts, got a few strikeouts of these Gatemen hitters. If the Gatemen hitters want to attack him successfully today, I think the key is to go early in the count, try to catch him off guard. Don't get 2 strikes against your name, because if you do, Bertel's going to work that slider, and you're going to be out pretty quickly.
Bertel taking the mound for the road team, and for the home Wareham Gatemen, it's going to be Joey Matulovic coming to us from California. We've seen him once this year. What do you expect to see from Matulovic today?
Yeah, the Cal product, obviously his teammates with Tanner Dodson, who we saw pitch yesterday. Matulovic pitched versus Harwich. He pitched 4 scoreless innings, struck out 4 actually, walked a couple guys. It's his fastball that's his best pitch. He doesn't see a lot of movement on it, and it's 87 to 91, but his secondary stuff is where he needs to improve. Maybe we'll see that on the Cape as the season goes on. But again, at Cal this year, he pitched to a 4.76 ERA, which is middle of the pack, but still pretty good. And obviously you expect to improve your game here as you go on the Cape. So if these these bats for the Gatemen can somewhat get some offense going for him, get some run support early on. You'll see the same from Matulovic as he gets his first start. He worked out of the pen versus Harwich, like I said before, so we'll see what happens, but should be pretty good today.
Little Canadian versus American pitching action today. Bertel from Fonthill, Ontario, and Matulovic from California. When we return to the Gatemen pregame show presented by South Coast Health, you will see Claudia Chikaman on the field with Luke Bonfield, who just got here from the University of Arkansas.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgentcare.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Baseball Network. I'm Claudia Chikaman alongside outfielder Luke Bonfield, who's back for his 3rd season on the Cape, 2nd with the Gatemen. So Luke, can you tell me what keeps bringing you back here?
I mean, it's just the atmosphere on the Cape. It's a great atmosphere, you know. Every guy on here, you know, has a chance to play in the pros, and it's a really good atmosphere. You know, that's the next stepping point to professional baseball.
What excites you about being back at the Gatemen for a second time?
Just, you know, meeting new guys, creating kind of like lifelong bonds you get with the guys. I mean, I still talk to the guys I played with my first year on the Cape.
What have you noticed about the fan atmosphere all on the Cape this past couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I was really surprised the first time I came here that the fan atmosphere is huge. I mean, you get, you know, thousands of people sometimes for games, and whether the weather's great or not, I mean, it doesn't really matter. People will come out and support the Gatemen.
Okay, so a bit of a rough loss, both losses on Sunday. So how are you guys trying to bounce back in today's game?
Yeah, I mean, baseball is a great sport. Saying you play pretty much every single day, so you kind of have to keep a short memory. So we just, you know, we're, you know, learning points from the games yesterday, and we're just gonna try and bounce back and have a good game today.
What are you looking forward to after, you know, you're only here for 2 weeks last year, so what excites you for being here hopefully longer this season?
Yeah, just trying to stay healthy and, you know, play well for the Gatemen and try and bring a championship here.
What have you noticed about the atmosphere of the other players that are here for the Gatemen?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, a lot of fun-loving guys, a lot of guys like myself who like to work hard and love the game of baseball.
What are the strengths you're seeing from everyone?
You know, I think we have a really good pitching team. I think we need to come up with a little more timely hitting from that standpoint. But I think, you know, the thing about the Cape is guys get accustomed to the wood bats more as the season goes on, and so at first it's a little more pitcher dominant, and then as the season goes on it's going to be a little more hitter dominant.
And something going off the timely hitting, some of you guys continue to struggle with having, you know, bases loaded and you can't get anything across the plate. So what did Send work on with you guys today, especially in batting practice, to try and get those timely hits?
You know, you just focus on squaring up balls. I mean, you can't really, once the ball leaves your bat, you can't really do anything about it if it's hit right at someone or whatnot. So as long as you're squaring up the ball, putting good swings on the ball, you know, you're going to have a chance for success.
Great, thanks Luke.
Yeah, no
Glad to have you back again.
Appreciate it.
Okay, back to you, Sam.
Thank you, Claudia. Reminder that you can contact us at the press box at gatemen@pressbox.org. That's gatemen@pressbox.org. Also follow us on Twitter at Wareham Gatemen. Check us out on Facebook and watch the live game today on YouTube as well. Listen to the away broadcast as well out there on YouTube. And check us out on SoundCloud for highlights from every game, including highlights from last night's doubleheader against the Chatham Anglers. Connor, I believe you have some keys to the game for us today.
Yeah, for these Gatemen hitters, you need to make sure that you are swinging at balls early in the count. And I know that's not what I said against Chatham yesterday, but today it's a little different with that slider Bertel has. He's going to go to it in an 0-2 or 1-2 situation, even with 2-2 counts and maybe sometimes with the count full. So I think Bertel's slider it's really got a lot of good stuff on it, moving away from a right-handed hitter and towards a left-handed hitter. So I think these Gatemen hitters, they really have to attack as soon as they see fastball. That might be the first pitch of an at-bat. It might be with a 2-0 count. It might be with a 3-1 count. When you get that opportunity, you really need to find a way to hit the ball in the hole somewhere, get a base hit, and then once they do get on base, we said that was the key to the game against Chatham yesterday, but now once they get on base, they need to do what they did against Harwich last Thursday, and that was get that first base hit maybe steal a base, maybe drop a bunt, and then another hit, or just any way these Gateman hitters can find a way to knock each other in for runs and then take a lead early in this game. 1 run an inning, that'd be fantastic. That's what they did against Harwich, basically in a 9-0 game. So if you can find a way to get 1 run per inning with a base hit, stolen base, bunt, and then sac fly or another base hit or something, I think that's the recipe for success for this Gateman offense. On the defensive side, I'd really like to see Joey Matulovic today do what Britell's probably going to try to do for Hyannis. Dominate early in the count, throw those fastballs for strikes, get ahead of the hitters, really throw them off balance, and then mix in your changeup, mix in the curveball, mix in the other stuff that he's really well known for doing at Cal. And when he had those 4 scoreless innings against Harwich on Thursday, that's what he did really well. That's why he was the player of the game, and that's what I'd like to see him do today in order for the Gatemen to get a win.
Absolutely. Matulovic looks to improve on a 1-0 record this season. Did get the win in Harwich as well. Jacob, you got a player to watch for us from the Hyannis Harbor Hawks today?
Yeah, it's going to be Reese Hampton, their leadoff hitter. We saw him go 2 for 4 in the opener. He really set the tone. When we were in Hyannis, we saw him really set the tone and go off for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and then today it needs to be done because he was 1 for 7 yesterday in their doubleheaders. So he is really the key to their offense. Their offense is last in the league in batting average. They're really struggling right now. They're probably the worst offense in the Cape League. I know we've only been playing, some teams have only been playing 3 games, 4 games, what have you. Doesn't matter. It's still the stats don't lie, and they're really struggling right now. Reese Hampton get on base, and we'll see what happens.
The Harbor Hawks scored 3 runs in the 2nd inning of that first game of the season against Wareham. Since then, they have not scored. So they'll probably try to improve on that. We did see a lot of speed yesterday from the opposition in the Chatham Anglers, running around the bases at will against Wareham. We will send it out to our Claudia Chikamian, who is with our head coach, Don Snedden, now on the field.
Thank you, Sam. So, Coach, first of all, 2 tough losses yesterday, but there were some positives. So what did you take away from those 2 games?
That I don't like playing baseball in the fog. That was the main thing. That when you lose balls up in the fog, it just didn't seem quite right. But it's the same for both teams. I realized that, but we just didn't like that part. But we did come away from that with the idea that hey, we still have the fog to do it. We didn't have good practice days.
How much would you say that fog affected you guys last night?
It affected me probably more than the players because I had bad eyesight anyway. But when you see, I think there's 4, maybe 5 balls that were lost in the fog, and those were change around. So it actually helped us get a couple runs, but it helped them too. So I realized you got to play and out here and maybe in those conditions. And again, it's the same for both sides. So can't complain.
So you said you noticed that you guys still have a lot of work to do. So what did you really focus on today during batting practice?
Well, we're working on our 2-strike approach. We had a couple opportunities again just to call and play, and we got a run, and we didn't do that. We struck out. So we're trying to re-emphasize that and just go over some of the skills that they need on a daily basis, just sort of sharpen the tools.
So playing the Harbor Hawks again, and they haven't scored a run since that first game that you guys played to open the season. So do you think that's like a positive for you guys, or are you going to take advantage of that at all?
I don't know that stat, but hopefully you can say that again after 9 innings that they wouldn't do that. So we're throwing a bunch of guys in. We still have some tips, so really don't know what to expect. So that would be nice if and then we can score a couple runs. That would be great.
So the pitching was not as dominant as it has been the past few games last night. So is that a concern for you, or do you think it was just the conditions, or what?
No, it's a concern. Yeah, we seem to be capable of putting in 1 bad inning, and the 1 bad inning in the Cape is enough to lose the ball game because you can't score a lot of runs going forward. So again, you don't know when it's going to happen. You just hope it doesn't happen, and if it does happen, you better hope your offense picks you up.
So what would you say is the overall goal for the entire team for this game today?
Well, for tonight, the bottom line is we've got to score when we have opportunities without getting the benefit of a base hit. I prefer a base hit. That would be nice, but for the most part, we got to be able to score some runs by infield back, ground ball play, or sacrifice fly. We have to do this.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Best of luck. Thank you for watching the Gateman pregame show presented by South Coast Health, and we'll be back for first pitch later on.